We are going to get started. First of all, thanks everybody for coming and being here, and hopefully we'll get to everything soon. We'll eat first, and then there. Okay, Hayden. No, come on in. We said we're going to make you do the prayer, Bonnie, so you're right on time. All right. But again, thank everybody for coming. When we do let everybody go to eat, we'll go out the outside doors, in through the middle again, kind of our normal setup. Had a lot of guys that wanted to do the prayer. A lot of guys, but I think I'll do it this time. Austin was... I was picking on you, of course. Told Austin 10 minutes ago he was going to do it, and Linda, my wife, asked, "Is he really going to do it?" I said, "No," but I just wanted to think about it for the next 10 minutes. So, did you have something ready to go? I can pass you the mic. Okay. All right, we'll do a quick prayer here, and then we'll get some instructions. Dear Lord, thank you for the night that we have and the people that are in this room. We just ask that you be with us and guide us and enjoy the evening that we have and the people that are around us, and recognize some tremendous accomplishments and achievements from players, coaches, families that are all part of this program. We just ask that you look over us and guide us and help us moving forward, whether that's in our next season or in real life. We just ask that you be with us and help us, look over us and give us the strength that we need. In your name we pray, amen. We are going to start in the middle, and then we'll go on the outside. Yeah, okay. Jaden, did you have something? We'll just go here and even on the way. Is that all right? All right. So go ahead and start dispersing and eating, and then we'll get going with everything else once everybody's seated. There's still some more food out there, so if you're done and you're looking to go back, go ahead. All right, we are going to get started here. If you're still eating, no problem. But we'll get going with everything. We just have a few things that we want to start with, some thank yous, and people that we want to recognize. So Sandy Christofferson, who's not here, but she basically set all this stuff up. Eric and IT kind of helping with our video stuff. Obviously, fresh ideas for the food. Nathan, Carl, and Mitch. Marlene for helping us get things organized. Travis Olson, our trainer, who isn't here. Parents, family members for being here. If you are a host parent, could you please stand real quick so we could recognize some of you guys? We talk about host parents all the time. We had 8 visits this winter, 4 in December, 4 in January, and we spend a lot of time talking about host parents and what they do and what you do. So it's not something that we're just breezing over. It's a huge deal for us. It's a huge deal for our players. I know there's some that aren't here, but we appreciate it. It's a unique part of our program, and you guys do a tremendous job. I also just want to say thank you for the support, home games, away games, especially just thinking back to the Mount Marty game. Obviously, that was their first game, but, seeing the visiting stands pretty full or maxed out is a big deal. And, other coaches, when they come talk to me, you do the whole, hey, your team's really good. No, your team's really good before the game talk. But almost every time we're on the road, every coach comes up and mentions how many people that we have there, or, Concordia when they send out their email about, hey, make sure it's a dry campus. Love that email. I don't know why they send that every year. But anyways, I'll get one 2 years. So, but appreciate that. Just want to introduce some of our staff quickly. We have 2 student assistants they come to every single practice. They travel with us on games, whether that's doing film, setting up practice, getting, and obviously we have, guys that were maybe injured this year that did a tremendous job with that too. But our 2 guys that I want to recognize for sure, Carter Dreyer and Titus Ludi, those guys do a ton of work for us. I haven't seen those 2 guys, but are they here? Carter and Titus? They're probably going over film or something. So... but those guys are unbelievable. They don't make a lot of money doing what they're doing, and they're a huge part of what we're doing. Obviously, we had some guys that were injured this year that helped us out tremendously as well, and we'll kind of get into those guys as well. Want to introduce our coaching staff. Coach Malik Campbell, our strength coach. Just a little bit about Coach Campbell. Coach Campbell came in as a graduate assistant, and then became the full-time strength coach, not only for the football team but for every program on campus. So to say he was a little overwhelmed is an understatement, and so he's done a tremendous job with our guys, and appreciate him being here. I'll start with our defensive staff. Coach Foster, our defensive coordinator and linebackers. Coach Summers, our special teams coordinator and defensive line coach. Coach Summers will be transitioning into the strength coach role as well, and still be coaching our D-line, so we're excited about that transition. And then Coach Dynan coaches our DBs. Moving on to our offensive staff. Coach Joyner. Coach Joyner is our academic coordinator, community service coordinator, offensive line coach. Now I'm gonna pick on Coach Joyner real quick. We told you about these visits, right? We did 8 visits, 4 in December, 4 in January, and we have different coaches talk about different areas. And Coach Joyner talks about our community service that we do, and then he talks about the academic portion. He has proclaimed himself as the smartest coach on staff because he's the academic coordinator. So I wanted everybody to be aware of that, so he didn't have to come and tell you individually that he's the smartest coach. on staff. So thanks, Coach Joyner, for being here. Coach McGee, our tight ends and fullbacks coach. Coach Loudenberg, our running backs coach. And then Coach McGarry is not here tonight. He's at home sick, but Coach McGarry is our wide receiver coach, and he's been here. He got here 3 days before fall camp, and jumped in head first and did a nice job coaching our receivers. So he's not here tonight, but I'm sure he's watching. He's a big DWU guy. So Coach Weidenbach. Coach Weidenbach is not here yet. He's actually on his way back from Rapid City from a basketball game, so he's going to try to make it. We'll see where he's at. But again, Coach Weidenbach and what he does for our team, for our coaches, for me, is a lot, and have a lot of things that he does that you can't probably list on a sheet of paper in terms of the impact that he makes on our team and our program and our guys. And so I wanted to make sure we recognize him as well. And then just the significant others of our coaches, wives, girlfriends. We put a lot of hours in, and it's not super easy to be a single parent. I know my wife, she's probably better off that way. I know our kids are, with me not being around, but it's a lot of work, and obviously having full-time jobs and things like that. And so I want to recognize all the significant others, and Linda in particular, for all the work that they do during the season and throughout the calendar year. So with that, we'll kind of get into talking about the season. I do want to recognize our captains for this year just quickly. So if you guys could stand. Cody Reichelt, Sam Kretschmar, Josh Gary, Jamin Aaron, TJ Benton, Keel Nelson were the captains for this past fall. Want to talk about the season a little bit, and if you talk about, we don't really live in a moral victory type of situation. Anybody that's been a part of our program for a while knows that. But I do think there's some things that we want to touch on and highlight, and they kind of sound like moral victories. But obviously this season there was a lot of expectations, high expectations, and unfortunately we fell short of that. But I think there's a lot of things that happened this last year that need to be recognized. If you really look back at it, we scored a touchdown against Dakota State. We scored another score against Briar Cliff, and we're 6-5, not 4-7. And 6-5 is a different conversation than 4-7. And like I said, that's a moral victory. We didn't do those things, but we talked about this team all season, and I told these guys, I don't know how many times, this is the team that's going to be talked about for a long time. This is the one that's going to be getting us back to where we need to be. And obviously a record can determine that, right? You can look at the record and the wins and losses and say, okay, they're getting it back on track, but there's a lot of things that happen this season. And quite frankly, we have to build things back up. And this is the team that did that. And when you talk about 19 seniors here in a little bit, 6 of those guys getting their masters while they're playing football, they don't do that without a pretty big dedication to this team and this program. And I think we're in a better spot now than we have been in the last 3 or 4 years. And we didn't accomplish what we wanted to do on the field, of course. But in terms of a team, in terms of what, as a coach, you want a team to be, this is by far the best we've had in the last, for sure, 4 or 5 years. And that's a credit to these players. The work that they did, that's leadership from older guys. That's young guys listening and doing what they're told without question. And I think, overall, the foundation, has been set and enhanced with the group of guys that we had, this year. And this team had to fight a lot throughout the season, talking about, injuries. We had some injuries that guys had to battle through, whether that was offensively or defensively, and needed guys to step in. We had guys do that. We had young guys that had to come in and take on a bigger role, and they did that. Just kind of talking about our defense, kind of talk about all the three aspects, but defensively, without our defense this year, we don't probably win 4 games. Those guys, I mean, they came to work every single day. A very experienced group, a very dynamic group. I think our defensive staff and those guys did an unbelievable job of preparing them and putting us in a position to win every game, or at least be in the hunt. And that says a lot about that group, and we needed to be that. Okay, we needed to be that, and they were that all the time. Offensively, we knew going into it, number one, me being in charge of the offense, there was going to be some hiccups, right? I mean, that's just going to come with the territory. But those guys, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that group from the standpoint of we knew that we had to come in and learn, and we had to make progress. Okay, and I think you take a look at what we accomplished throughout the season offensively. I think we played our best game of the year, and it was our last game of the year. And it's not ideal to play. We had 7 different guys take a snap at quarterback this year. Okay, that counts Cody. Cody took a snap, got us first down. Jamin took a couple snaps. 5 other quarterbacks, and all those guys never batted an eye. And I think the progress that those guys made of just sticking with it, having some young guys at some skill positions that had to step up, and we did that, and we continue to work better. And I think special teams wise, you look at some of the games that we played at the end of the year and some of the kicks that we needed to have, or flipping field position, on the punt game specifically, that was a group that we look forward to. I mean, scoring some points on punt return, blocking some kicks, those are all things that we needed, and those are things that aren't going to show up in a record. They're not going to show up in a stat sheet, but it talks a lot about guys that it'd be really easy to say, hey, well, this isn't going the way we want it. Let's just cash it in. And quite frankly, we had that a couple years ago, and we didn't have guys in this team that did that. And so it makes us excited for what we're doing going forward. We just finished our 4th week in a row of 5 workouts a week. 6 a.m. and we got 4 more weeks of it, and so guys are working, and we're moving forward, and so we're excited for spring ball and see what that looks like as well. So that being said, we're going to get into recognizing some guys academically. We hold our guys in a pretty high standard. We expect a lot out of them in the classroom, we've been ranked in the top 5 in the country the last 8 years in terms of team GPA. That's not by accident. That's a credit to our coaches and study table, but it's a credit to our guys doing the work. And so we're going to recognize some of those guys right now. So when I call your name, just stand up, if you will, and then stay standing until everybody's been talked about. But our first group is guys that have a 3.0 to a 3.3 semester GPA. Dylan Albrecht, Christian Alvarez, Kai Becker, Jaden Blumendahl, Josh Coleman, Miles Davis, Garrett Diedemann, Logan Furbach, Austin Forney, Tate Kessler, AJ Quartermeyer, Garrett Mandolfo, Getty Marburger, Austin Meckley, Jaron Montgomery, Keel Nelson, Chandler Pruitt, Carter Rentz, Ethan Rogich, Nate Ruprecht, Hayden Schmidt, Logan Sirk, Chance Sorensen, Wyatt Vanentop, and Jacob Samora. Semester GPAs of 3.0 to 3.3. Our next group is guys that had a semester GPA of 3.3 to 3.5. Jamin Aaron, Trey Bowman, Ethan Engen, Jimmy Gerwal, Parker Grotejohn, Jesse Herrera, Connor Kirkove, Eli Lingle, Preston Nedved. That can't be right. Preston, you can stand up anyway, I guess. You're on the sheet. Avery Nordby, Todd Oberle, Kevin Rue, Josh Rouse, Christian Rystrom, Cale Stevenson, Trent Sukett, Tayden Vandenberg, 3.3 to 3.5. Our last group, 3.6 and above, Sam Calise, Anthony De La Torre, Adam DeYoung, Leighton Idy, Tate Gale, Josh Gary, Ben Harms, Sam Henderson, Sam Kretschmar, Tate Larson, Austin Lee, Caleb Majewski, Ethan McCune, Jacob Schaefer, Max Schoenfelder, Matt Schwarzer, Gavin Spurl, Connor Tapia, Rave Ulick, Dominic Warmbine, Trevor Wilkinson, Jacob Williams. And just a little bit of a recap, 64 players had above a 3.0 semester GPA. We had 97 total guys on our roster. And that's a big deal, you know, and this is where you look at our cumulative and team GPAs for the semester, you know, above a 3.0. That's hard to do. That's really hard to do, especially with the schedule that these guys have and what we're asking them to do. So a lot of credit to those guys and what we got going on. I'm going to move forward. If Coach Foster wouldn't mind coming up, we're going to talk about our all-conference awards. And when we call you guys' name, come on up here, and we'll stay up here till everybody's recognized. We had 5 guys listed as all-conference this year. All-conference is a tough conversation. Everybody obviously wants to go to bat for their guys. You know, I think for the last couple years, I think we've been on the short end of the stick a little bit, but obviously still excited about the guys that we have recognized. We had 2 honorable mention all-conference guys, Sam Kretschmar at linebacker and Daniel Leibolt as a return specialist. There you go. We had 2 second-team all-conference players, Dominic Warmbine at D-line and TJ Benton at offensive line. And our lone first-team all-conference player, Cody Reichel. There's a lot of games played between these 5 guys here, and guys that we're gonna miss a lot. TJ, we won't miss him. He's gonna come back and play. But these 4 other defensive guys and Leibolt, you know, did a ton for us on our team, and you know, great to have those guys recognized as all conference. And if you don't know anything about the GPAC, it's pretty darn good. And so for these guys to be recognized as some of the best in our conference, to me that means they're some of the best in the country. And so tremendous recognition for these guys. Cody, you can stay. The rest of you guys have a seat. Cody's staying up here because Cody was also named an NAI All-American this last season. And again, kind of going back into our conference and you know, what we have on a national stage, you know, for Cody to be recognized as an All-American, to me, he's the best player in the conference, and obviously one of the best players in the country, and it's tremendous for him to get this recognition as an All-American. You know, I do think he's the Defensive Player of the Year, which, again, we weren't able to get that voted on, but tremendous recognition to be named an All-American in the NAI. So Cody Reichel. All right, Coach Joyner and Coach Summers, you guys want to head up here. The next awards that we're going to go through are our team awards. These are awards that are voted on by the players based on, you know, the season and how guys did. And to me, these mean a lot because your peers are the ones that are voting for you. And so when we announce the awards, you guys come up and then you'll stay on stage throughout the duration so that we can have everybody up here at one time. Our first award, now I'm going to screw this up and I'm going to probably go too far and show you the guys. So if you do that, just come on up, I guess, because you know you're going to win the award. But I'll try not to. But our scout team players of the year, playing on the scout team is very, very hard. Okay? Physically, it's hard. Mentally, it's probably harder. These guys are literally running somebody else's offense or defense or special teams, you know, every single week. And, you know, we're asking them that, hey, you got to do it better than the guys that we're going to see on Saturday. And, you know, we We have 2 offensive scout team players of the week and 2 defensive scout team players of the week. And I think our guys, when they voted, did a tremendous job of selecting these award winners. But like I said, they have an unbelievably tough job. So our offensive scout team players of the week, of the year, Logan Sirk and Wyatt Bandentop. Our defensive scout team players of the year, Ethan McCune, Josh Rouse. All right, our next award. Oops, going the wrong way. See? Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year is anybody that's new to our program. Could be a freshman, could be a transfer that made an impact as a first-year player in our program. Again, the voting for this, we had a lot of guys that were recognized by their teammates as guys that they felt like made a tremendous impact as a new player in our program. But obviously, only one person's going to get the award, and I think this guy has a very bright future and somebody that we're gonna expect a lot of going forward. Victor Kanishi. Our most improved. I think there's a lot of guys that like we kind of mentioned, just stayed the course and continued to work, continued to improve, continued to work on their craft. But the winner of this award, to me, I think deserves some very special recognition. Going into the season, we have a conversation with all new players after fall camp and kind of get their input as to red shirt or not red shirt. Okay, and then we give our input as coaches. Hey, this is where we think you're going to be and whatever. And him and I were on the same page. The plan was to redshirt. We both felt good about that. And then all of a sudden that plan changed and there was no chance that you were going to be able to redshirt. And this guy never questioned it, continued to work his tail off, ends up starting 3.5 games for us and did an unbelievable job. Caden Cunningham. Our next award is our Ironman Award, and that's the one we want Caden to win next year. All right, Caden? Yeah. Okay. But it was shocking, our Ironman Award. That was like a unanimous vote, I think for probably the second year in a row. But this guy's, he's a hammer. That's what he is. And he looks the part. He does it all right all the time. I think he's maybe got a couple screws loose when he's in the weight room, but that's what makes him who he is. Unbelievable competitor, unbelievable worker, one of the hardest workers we've ever had. Our Ironman Award this year, no surprise to anyone, Sam Kretschmar. Getting into our offense, defense, and special teams awards. Special teams player of the year. I talked about this guy during the season, towards the end of the season. We had, like I said, it's easy to talk about our team and say we got a lot of guys that are doing things right. They're working their tails off. They're continuing to do everything right because we have a lot of those guys. And that's not just a generic thing. But to me, our recipient of this award, probably one of the toughest guys that we had on our team, I would say. Based on, this year and what he was dealing with, never, ever missed a practice, never missed a game, even though he's probably 80% coming into the season and trying to stay at 80% the rest of the year. The guy was fearless on the field. Whatever you asked him to do. There was, one game where he kind of got his eggs scrambled a little bit, and I yelled at him. Fortunately, he doesn't remember it, so I'm not trying to make light of injuries. We should, but just a tough kid, an unbelievable leader. Really doesn't say much. I'd love for him to do the speech, but I don't think we're going to be able to get him to do that. But our special teams player of the year, kid as tough as nailed and fearless for us this year, Daniel Leibold. Offensive MVP. Like I said, we had some things to work out, changing some schemes, having some injuries that we had to deal with, me trying to figure it out as an offensive coach, and I do give our guys a lot of credit. They were very receptive, but the one guy that I think was the most steady, the guy that showed up to work every single day, a guy that we needed to do things right and was embracing of that every single day. A guy that we put a lot on his shoulders to do everything. Run the ball, catch the ball, block guys. He was always open to doing everything. But our offensive MVP, Jamin Aaron. Defensive MVP. I think depending on the week, you could probably give this to any guy that played defense. Just an unbelievable group defensively that really, during fall camp and spring ball last year, when I was transitioning to the offensive side of the ball, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, okay? I mean, we see our defense all the time. We're watching, I mentioned Cody in multiple clips during fall camp. I'm like, well, Cody doesn't play for these guys, so maybe this is going to be a good play, but he's kicking the crap out of us right now. And then there's Gary that's, calling out our plays before, we run them. He knew it before I was even calling it. So, we had a lot of guys on the defensive side, the backbone of our team this year. But I don't think it's a question. The guy that kind of kept everybody together, and the guy that was, the guy that when we needed to play, he was the one that everybody was looking at, Cody Reichelt. Team MVP, our last two awards that are voted on by our team are our Team MVP and our No Bull Award. Obviously, very prestigious, very, well recognized within their teammates, and our team most valuable player. I said it on the radio. I've said it in front of our team. We'll talk about it again when we recognize our seniors here in a little bit. Not sure what we're going to do without this guy on our team, but our team MVP again, Cody Reichelt. Our No Bull Award for the first time, not the first time, I think the second time in 10 years that I've been doing this, we had two guys. Our No Bull Award is really what it says. Regardless of what's going on, during a game, during practice, during the day, you're just going to operate one way. You're going to do things to the highest possible standard all the time. Doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, you just failed the test. When it comes to football, during games, during practice, you're going to do things the right way with unbelievable effort. And this year we had two guys that I think, this is to me our most prestigious award. MVPs are tremendous players that have a lot of accolades, and they deserve those recognitions, but these are guys that show up on the tough days in the trenches. And our two No Bull Award winners this year, Cody Reichelt, Josh Gary. we have one more award. As I haven't seen Coach Weidenbach here, so I don't think he snuck in here yet. But Coach Weidenbach gives out a character award every year, and it is named after Adam Borman, who was the first recipient of the award. Adam played linebacker here, and Adam is the definition of a guy of character, and so Coach Weidenbach, he said if he wasn't here, I was able to give out the award. But we're talking about the Adam Borman Man of Character Award. We're talking about guys that are literally the definition of what we're looking for in terms of DW football. Okay, from start to finish, not just practice, not just study hall, not just what you're doing on game day. It's who you are as a person every single day. And our Adam Borman Man of Character Award this year goes to Josh Gary. So these are all of our award winners. If we could just give them a round of applause one more time. All right, you guys are good. Thank you. All right, our next part of this, we're going to recognize our senior class. And we have 19 seniors. Technically, we had 20 that got announced on Senior Day. We've talked one guy back. I guess he kind of talked us into coming back. Not really, but Tate Gale's going to come back. I do meetings at the end of the year with all the guys, and one of the questions at the bottom it says, "Hey, are you ready? Are you going to be back in the fall?" And of course, the senior guy's like, "No, I'm getting a job or I'm doing this." And Tate's like, "Yeah, I'm coming back." And I'm like, "That's good news." And so Tate, we will not recognize Tate right now, but he was announced on Senior Day. But 19 other guys, and 19 guys that gave a tremendous amount of effort to this whole program. And when you sit here, okay, every year for 10 years, I've written a letter to the senior class, and it's a mess. Okay, I read it to them. I don't know if it's ever any good, but I told them this year when I started to read it, the first part was kind of, I really try to, like I'm doing right now, procrastinate into getting to talk about our senior guys, okay? And I told them this year was at the top, if not the hardest one to write. And the reason for that, every year is tough, right? I tell them all the time, I hate Senior Day, okay? Not because I hate our seniors, it's the fact that it's real, right? These guys have been, in our program, whether it's for 2 seasons, 5 seasons, the things that we're asking them to do on a daily basis, whether that's, hey, you're going to be in study table, and we're going to check your grades. We're going to be true statements. Oh, by the way, you need to do a good job with this. If you don't do something exactly right, you're going to hear about it, right? And the stuff that they essentially put up with. And then you see them moving on, it's like, man, that guy, just the development those guys have, and that's a credit to them. They do the work. That's why it was really hard. It was hard to write that, knowing that the guys that we're going to list here, we're never going to suit up again. And you talk about some of these guys that have been, whether they started every single snap or, were in a different role, they added so much to our team and our program. This class has literally been through the hardest stretch of DW football in the last 12 years since I've been here. Had a lot of reasons to say, hey, you know what, this isn't going how we want. I'm going to move on. And they didn't do it. And some of these guys that even came in, as transfer guys, stuck with it and added value to our team, added value to our program. And our program is better because of the guys in this class. Our team is better now than it's ever been, especially in the most recent history, and all that credit goes to this group, this group of guys. And the thing that I think some of our younger players are starting to realize, and as coaches, we're realizing when we're watching workouts, it's like, hey, this guy isn't here anymore. This guy's not doing this for us anymore. Okay, we joke about it all the time. The next time they come to a game, they're paying for a ticket, right? And hopefully donating a lot of money and all that type of stuff too. But that's down the road, guys, down the road. Okay, but the one phrase that we talk about for our fourth and fifth year guys is leaving a legacy. Okay, and what we mean by leaving a legacy is, yes, the awards and the accolades and the stats. That's a big part of it. Okay, but when we talk about what we really mean by leaving a legacy is, what are people going to say about you when you're not here? Okay, what are we going to say about you when you're not here? And these guys, I don't know what to say, because there's a lot of guys, obviously, being able to coach defense for a long time and scream and yell at these guys. I'd really like to take the senior defensive guys outside and just yell at you for a little bit and make you do up downs one more time. That would really make me feel better about things. Anybody up for that? Crash is. Crash is already unzipping his vest. He's ready to go. It's hard to put into words what these guys mean to our team and our program. And so we'd like to recognize our seniors right now. So when we call your name, guys, come on, head up here, okay? And we'll get everybody on the stage and recognize everybody one more time. So our first senior that we're going to go through our guys that are 2, 3, or 4 year guys first, alphabetically, and then we'll go through our fifth year guys after that. Christian Alvarez, our first guy, defensive back, transferred into our program. Alvarez did it all for us in terms of whatever we asked him to do, whether that was on the field, being on the scout team, gave us everything that he had, gave us a tremendous look every single week, a guy that competed and made us better, and somebody that we're gonna miss as a DB in our program. Jaden Blumendahl. Jaden Blumendahl came in as a running back, moved into receiver, then all of a sudden we had to move him back to running back, and he never complained about it. He never complained about it. A fixture on our special teams, scored a touchdown this season on a block kick. Somebody that's just again, you start talking about how we're gonna replace guys, and it's all of a sudden what do we do without Jaden? Our next guy that was number 1 on our list in terms of giving the prayer, but he declined, Miles Davis. Miles is another guy, moved a couple positions, never complained about it. A scout team player of the year in 2019, willing to do whatever we asked him to do, and somebody that is a tremendous asset. Talk about moving positions. Anthony's here. Anthony came in, started a game at quarterback, played in games at wide receiver, and then moved to tight end, recruited as a quarterback. And when you start talking about guys moving different positions and their willingness to do it, being able to add Anthony in our team and playing 3 different positions in games, there's not many guys that are able to do that. Jet Evans. Jet, another guy, came in as a running back, moved him to DB. I enjoyed coaching Jet a lot. He was always one of those guys you could maybe give a little bit of a hard time to. He took it very, very well, but always receptive, always working, always trying to figure out what he needed to do to get better. Jimmy Garwal. Jimmy's not here tonight. Hopefully Jimmy's watching. I really enjoyed getting to know Jimmy the last couple seasons in terms of working with the quarterbacks. Jimmy's jumping in. He had some injury stuff, jumping in on scout team, whatever he could do, playing receiver. Appreciate Jimmy and what he brought to our team as well. Tate Larson. Talk about a guy that was just going to give you everything. I mean, Tate never complained. I don't think one day, probably had a lot of days that he could have, completely bought into what we were doing. I think if we would have asked him to, drive the bus, he would have. Completely bought into what DWU football is about and caught his first touchdown pass this season. Really proud of Tate and what he's done. Daniel Leibold, obviously you can see the awards and accolades, and I do think this season one of the toughest guys that we had on our team. Obviously not full speed, never complained, never sat out, always asking what else he could do. Unbelievably fearless, a guy that has made some circus catches and a tremendous asset to our team. Going to miss Mr. Leibold a lot. Damian Lucas, okay? Damian, another position move guy, okay? Never complained, worked his butt off, always asking questions. We're still working on that hairdo a little bit, getting that fixed, but I think now he's just growing it out because I said, "Not, you shouldn't." So he's winning on that one, but appreciate Damian and what he's meant to our team. Kevin Rue, I don't think Kevin's here with us, but Kevin was kind of a spark plug, especially this season. I think, coming in as a transfer is hard to learn a new scheme, learn a new system, but this season I think Kevin did a tremendous job of, being a guy that we were really counting on, had some big-time plays for us, some sacks during the season, and somebody that just kept getting better for us and our team. Chance Sorensen, again, talk about a tough player, okay? That his career got cut short because of an injury. And Chance's role this year was more of a student coach and did all of our signals on game day. Not the role he wanted to be in, not the role we wanted him to be in. You look at some of our games, when Chance was playing and some of those tough catches, some of those tough plays, Chance's name and number are going to pop up a lot. And, a guy that we really missed in our wide receiver group this year on the field. But somebody that still helped us out tremendously in what he was doing for us on a daily basis, every practice, every game, had a different role and did a great job for us in that role. Nate Ruprecht, kind of our Swiss Army knife defensively, playing corner, playing safety, playing man-to-man, obviously a track athlete as well. Nate's, I think he's at a track meet right now. Nate did a lot for us, and so excited about, what he can do in track this season and following that guy. But, again, somebody that we really, put a lot on his plate from the defensive perspective and played extremely well for us. So those are our guys that are second, third. Technically, all these guys can come back. So, we can maybe debate that later on, guys. But you guys stay up here. We want to get into our fifth-year guys. Hayden Schmidt, an all-conference DB. Hayden, when I was coaching DBs, there's usually one guy in the room that, if you got to send a message to the group, you're going to get after this guy. And Hayden was that guy when I was coaching the DBs. I loved working with Hayden. I loved what he brought to the table, but he was the guy that if you had to send a message to the group, you were going to get on Hayden, and he knew most times it wasn't about him. He wasn't probably the one screwing up, but he was the one that was going to get the group going in the right direction, and definitely did that for us his entire career here. Trevor Wilkinson, talk about a guy that's willing to do whatever. He was Scout Team Player of the Year last year. And that's, like I said, that's a tough job. That's when you swallow your pride and say whatever's best for the team, I'm gonna do. And that's who Trevor Wilkinson is, and what what he brought to our team. He sent a tweet out there. Really missing football the other day. I saw that. Liked the hell out of that thing. So, anyways, Trevor might be coming back apparently. So we're excited about that as well. Jacob Schaefer. Jacob Schaefer's played running back, played DB, settled in at linebacker, and did a tremendous job. A great player, a great worker, really does a ton for us. I thought he had a great season this year, and continuing to work his tail off. Somebody that we're going to miss immensely. He's still helping out our team with graphics and stuff. Just somebody that very, very selfless player that we're excited about his career and what he means to our team. Our next guy, Dominic Warmbine. Okay, I figured I'd have to pronounce your name right at least tonight. Okay. What do you say about Dom? I mean, he's one of the best D linemen in the conference 2 years in a row. A guy that came to work every single day, and a guy that produced on Saturdays. A tremendous leader, tremendous worker. Asked probably more questions than anybody I've ever been around as a coach, which is good. But Dom's a great player that we're going to miss immensely from a production standpoint, but a program perspective as well. He's one of the best to ever do it for DWU. Josh Gary probably should be the head coach of this team, quite frankly. He's the smartest guy that I've ever been around. One of the hardest workers that we've ever had. The glue that, I would consider him the glue that held our defense together. We had some guys that made some tremendous plays and were tremendous playmakers for us. Josh is a two-time captain for a reason. And again, a guy that has another year of eligibility. So, I don't think we'll really see the impact that Josh and the rest of these seniors are going to make until we get into spring ball and defensively, and we're going to sit there and say, who's kind of running this show? That's who Josh was for us. Our next guy, Sam Kretschmar, another two-time captain, an honorable mention, all-conference linebacker, a scout team player of the year. This is a guy that's done it from day one. Okay, as a true freshman, being named a scout team player of the year, and then fast forwarding, 4 and 5 seasons to be recognized as one of the best in the conference. Those are the stories as a coach you like to tell. Okay, those are the stories that you like to say, hey, be like this guy. Come in, do it right, work your tail off, and good things are going to happen for you. And that's who Sam Kretschmar is. He played fullback for a while. He played, did some things for us this year on offense. An unbelievable player that we'll miss immensely. Cody Reichelt, honorable mention, all-conference linebacker. A couple seasons ago, he was our defensive MVP. In 2019, again, another two-time captain, first-team all-conference linebacker, All-American, Noble Award winner, team MVP. When you talk about football and making plays, especially defensively, number 9 was the guy. And he's the guy that everybody was looking for. I know whoever's offense was on the field, they sure as heck were looking for him. And I don't know if we'll see another guy like Cody Reichelt in a long time. Cody and I had our conversations, though, right? But he's the guy that went to work every single day and worked his tail off. You don't get guys like that in your program, and the awards and accolades he receives are all very well deserved, and so got some big shoes to fill with that one. We got one more that we'd like to recognize, Taylor Reichelt, T-Man. T's more of like an assistant coach, probably, and really enjoyed working with T. We actually signed T before we signed Cody, so I still got the paper up in my office on the bulletin board, but one of the best T fetching guys that I've ever seen. Great guy on the sideline, always with the smile, always making my day a little bit better. Loved having him out at practice. He helped me coach the DBs for a long time, and always at every game. And so, T-Man, we wanted to make sure you were recognized as well. You're the only one with your picture, okay? All these other guys got a different one. You got your picture with you in it, and so, this is a pretty incredible group from top to bottom. I know we got a couple guys that aren't here, but to have this many guys come back and be here for this, some of these guys got jobs and stuff, and means the world to me and our team that they're here. And so just want to recognize these guys one more time. All right, we got a couple more things that we wanted to go through here just quickly. If you want to take a picture of this, just some important dates that we have coming up, just so that you can kind of mark it down or plan for. We do have our signing day party tomorrow from 2 to 4 at Blarney's. Everybody's welcome to come. It's not a mandatory thing by any means, and then we'll be at the women's basketball game. I think we have 24 of our 36 recruits that'll be there, and so we're excited about that group of kids coming in. A lot of South Dakota kids, a lot of local kids, those Nebraska, Southwest Minnesota, and then we got some guys that we've had a lot of success with, that Washington connection that we've been doing really well with guys on our roster and being able to get some more guys from there. So we'll be recognizing those guys tomorrow. Right now our plan is to have our spring game Thursday, April 14th. Okay, which is essentially the Thursday before Good Friday and Easter break. We're moving our shoot and putt fundraiser to a Friday, and actually 2 weeks earlier than in the past. So again, we'd love to have everybody participating in that. Tentatively, fall camp move-in date July 29th. Our first day of practice can be August 1st. Okay, we can practice 24 days before our first game. Our first game is the 25th, which I'll go over that. Fall camp potluck, and then first day of classes. Our schedule, GPAC did not do us any favors in terms of our schedule. 4 of our first 5 will be on the road, but it is what it is. And then the last half of the schedule gets a little bit better. November 12th is our bye week, which is the last week of the regular season, and we're going to practice. Okay, that's our plan. We're going to practice on bye week, and hopefully our second season is just getting started after that. So that's our schedule. You won't see this posted online yet, but this is what it is, barring any crazy changes. So first game against Dakota State is a Thursday night game again. And then Parents and Senior Day, November 5th. That'll be against Mount Marty. So make sure everybody's planning on being there for that one as well. Okay. So that kind of wraps up. We'll watch our highlight film here in just a second. But again, this is a huge night for us. It's great to be able to do it after a season and not do it during a potluck during fall camp like we did last year. The nice thing about doing it in fall camp, though, we didn't wear suits, and I hope, I'm not a suit guy, so this isn't my normal dress. So anyways, we appreciate all you guys being here. It was awesome having you here. Hope to see everybody, obviously you seniors and families sticking around for games. We want you around. We need you around. There's good things that are coming. This group is working their tail off. Our coaches are doing an unbelievable job. And I think we got a lot to prove. And so our guys have been hearing that, and they're going to continue to hear it because we have work to do, and we're taking those steps right now. And so this is a special group. This is a special team. It's a special program, and everybody a part of that. You're the reason for that. And so I thank you for that, and looking forward to next fall. So after the highlight film, if you wouldn't mind, kind of our normal deal, picking up the tables and chairs, putting those away. I did set the over-under at 8:15 with the tables and chairs being put away, so we're going to have to hustle, just so you know. But we'll take a look at this right here.
I don't got a reason to lie. They gave me the key to the sky, but I'd rather open my eyes, cause that's what'll keep me alive. Something that sees in my mind. Please do not fuck up my day. Everybody want a headline, I don't got nothing to say. Except I'm coming back with the freshness. You know I love making the entrance. Now, don't get defensive. Time is a matter of seconds. 1, 2, yeah. Off to see the wizard, leave the picture. Me and liquor, evil mixture, demons, glitter, cleaning whiskers. He be Mr. Fisherman. Back on my again. Doing my own dance. Feel the rhythm, there's no hands. I tell your vision like programs. Busy living on triple digit, young old man. Y'all dead wrong. I'm upper with the echelon. So butter when the bread long. I'm going strong to my head gone and my head gone. Yeah, floating back up on the scene, I'm saying hello. Do my thing, I'm Yeah, I'm only keeping good company. I am not talking to you if you don't have love for me. Yeah, one for you and one for me. I am not talking to you if you don't have love for me. Yeah, I mean, wow, do not touch that dial. I've waited a while, been around just like word of mouth. You gon' hear me out, and I put that on my house. I'm always going overboard. I better swim before I drown. I'm like rubber with the bounce, 100 beat the count, drumming loud as thunder with the sounds. Yeah. Bang, bang, bang. I was younger, around every summer wild. Always had it jumping at the house. Yeah, clapping for y'all. I'm into having it all. Feeling like Shaq with the call. Stature is tall. Rolling around with the homies. A battery pack with my dogs. With my thoughts. Having enough ain't a lot. Putting a check in the box. Straight to the top. It don't matter. Never mind the pattern when you taking no shot. Enough with the bullshit. Enough with the bullshit. Enough with the extras. Got my money. I swear I've been through it. Got a losing. That's just an illusion. Gotta keep them coming back for more than keep it moving. Yeah, I'm only keeping good company. I am not talking to you if you don't have love for me. Yeah, one for you and one for me. I am not talking to you if you don't have love for me. Love for me. Follow me another way. Yeah, you know you better stand, goddamn. Put your hands together. Everybody got money, get the band together. Moving like you can't stand the weather, but it ain't gon' rain always. Yeah, yeah,
I don't really care. I make trends and forget about them. You know I'm still stunting through the virus. Word again, being on Mac and childish. I'm the biggest bad boy since Wallace. I don't really care. And them 20 cars you rapping about, I spent that on that Bugatti acting out. 2 milli, that's what that's about. I don't really care. In case you forgot, Montana been had the city wildin', and came through with Chloe down the city island. Sanaa Lathan, Demi Lovato, Iggy and Cabo, I've been viral. I don't really care. Top three snipes. I took time off, now they got amnesia. Like, I ain't do it with an African visa. Tell my competition I'll be here tomorrow. And if I stay silent, you'll be gone tomorrow. Couple niggas in my style bar. But I don't really care. Only competition in my city is a chick. Before the grandma, nigga been viral. Now diamond single in the platinum album. Word of ride wave, we started the wave. When you see us, send us a bottle of Ace. Commissary to my dog in the cage. I don't really care. Been a trendsetter. Jack boys came from Coke boys. I'm the guy with the sauce, boy. I don't really care. But shout to Travis, that's my dog. Let's toast to champagne like 40. Coke boys like iced tea. You barking up the right tree. They jerk me out the Grammys. Next year I'm bringing 3 for the family. I don't really care. Shorty know I get deep in her. I can't lie, I wanna be with her. If she take long, then I'm leaving her. I don't really care. Stuck for the lie. It's them Coke boys' diary. She know my body. I don't really care. We can get ghosts in the phantom. Shorty get low in the camera.
Thanks for everything, guys.